Okay, then we'll continue our discussion after the break. Okay, I'll share it the screen again. Right, we are talking about Lean, that is Agile Software Development Methodology, and we are going to briefly describe about that. Before the break that we are get, we discuss about what are the core pillars, 5 core pillars of the Lean, and some Lean practices we go through. And next we are going to talk about the principles behind this Lean. So there are 7 principles behind Lean. One is eliminate waste. Eliminate waste. So that is the one principle in overall agile software development. Also, when we are talking about in principles in nutshell, we talk there as well. So within the lean, it also says eliminate waste. All kind of waste, time wasting, uh, and resource wasting. Don't waste like that. Eliminate waste. Right. The next one, amplify learning. So that is also very good point as students as well. You have to also learning. You have to amplify learning every time. Improve with the learning. That is why we so amplify learning. Extraggeration about learning, just like you have to improve with the learning process always. Right. So that is the second principle. And decide as late as possible, but it says as possible. It doesn't mean you can decide at the last time. No, it says late as possible last time. That is the thing. So in software development, so if you have to take some decisions, so getting this after you get decision, then we are going through that process now. So to get a decision, take time. So that is the thing this says. Get the decision, take some considerable time, and don't be hurry. Take time. And in the last possible chance, then you have to get the decision. So don't make it delay then. You have to get, but take it as last as you can. So in life also you can add that. So sometimes you are maybe you are hurrying and just like with the stressful situation you are taking some decision, so don't do that. You can, if you have to take that decision after 2 days, so if someone asks, okay, I give you 2 days, then you can take that time and think good decision. But as last as possible means after a week you can't say, okay, now I got the decision, that is late. But if you have time to think, take that chance and get a good decision. So making a decision, don't be hurry. That is the thing within this third principle. And deliver as fast as possible. But when you are coming to delivering something, try to give it early, as fast as possible. When you are doing software development in the agile manner, you are giving that software like iterations. Within this week, you are giving one release, and the next after 2 3 days, maybe 2 3 days again, you are giving some part of the software as a next iteration, delivering like that. And we'll say we'll agree with the customer, okay, first release I'll give you within a week, right? So you have done each and everything within, we'll say, 5 days. So if you can deliver it even than he requested, it's very good. You can deliver now. So try to deliver as fast as you can, as fast as possible. But it is also, don't be hurried, but fast as possible you can do that. Right. So in the life as well, so if you have take the decision, we'll say you can decide as late as possible, but once you decide and when you are moving on the process, try to do that, try to complete that process as fast as possible. Then you have to work with the time as fast as possible. And the next principle is empower the team. So every time you have to work with the team, empower the team. It means motivate them, always give positive vibe to team, and try to get communicated with each other in a good, friendly but professional manner. So that is called empower the team. Give some kind of motivation, positive vibe, those things. Next one, build integrity in. Build integrity in. So integrity means every time you have to be honest with your process. So honest, and you have to make that process very quality manner. So even maybe your we are not normally saying boss in the agile principle. We are saying scrum masters and maybe the master or maybe leader is better term, right? So even not with, we'll say when leader is watching towards us, then we are doing performing our manners and the processes in very clean tidy manner with the best coding practices. We are doing very smoothly, but if they are not monitoring, we are not doing like that. We are just doing here and there stuffs are doing without quality. So it means you are not integrity. In English language, integrity word have two meanings. Integrity in data science, we are talking about not doing modifications. So integrity in data means we must be sure about the data we inserted must come without modification. That is called integrity in security subjects. Right, in here also in semester 4, there is a compute network subject. That integrity word is we are talking related to that concept. So here the integrity means the honest of your heart. It means even more, even without any monitoring, we must be quality in inside. We must be honest to the process. That is called build integrity. And the last one is see the whole. Whole. It means entire software. Within here, it says entire software. Every time you are releasing small parts, small iterations, part of the software, that's true. But you must have a big picture always within your mind. The what is the whole software we are developing. So we are going to that end point with part by part. But in your mind, there must be a big picture. When you are learning also, you can apply this. See the whole principle in your life as well in the study material. So sometimes students are not see the whole. It means even they do not what why this is subject is. What are the main things of the subjects? There are no any idea, but they are stuck through some only some concepts and theories. Only that, only some theories they are studying, but they can't get the idea as the whole. Maybe sometimes they don't know even which subject is this actually. So that is means they have not big picture in the mind. So that is also important. Even in studies as well as the software development, you must have the entire software as the big picture in your mind. Right. So that is all about the lean software. So within this workshop, I to into only this workshop, I didn't put anything up to now. It means I didn't eliminate or I didn't reduce any part. You can even check with the manuals, with the VNV manuals if you have still download about the lean within the prints. This is actually unit 1 still. In the lean, there are about 4 pillars and the practices and the 7 principles. And also up to now, we have covered with the unit 1. Right, then we are moving to Kanban. So I just want to highlight that Lean is very small part according to your syllabus. But don't give up that. You must have idea about if they ask some questions. Okay, write down some 7 lean principles, or maybe to pick up what are the principles among those things. Like that, you must have the idea. Then we are moving another approach called Kanban. Kanban. Lean is one approach, and we are moving another approach here also. Very briefly, we are discussing about Kanban. About the Kanban also, we are not going to talk about process or anything, just 3 basic principles behind that. So this is really important to do. One is start with what you do now. So how to do our software. So it says very interesting 3 principles. Start with what you do now. So sometimes we are thinking even in our day-to-day life as well, if we are planning some business, maybe some kind of new goal, sometimes we are saying we must give up all the things that I have done so far. I want to start very brand new process like that. But this says it doesn't mean come with the old strategies, but this says sometimes we say we want so many resources to start this all these things must be start with newly like that. But here in Kanban says very simple approach. Start with what you have now, like that, right? You start with what you do now. Still, currently, present, you have something. It doesn't mean you have nothing. Start with that. Next, agree to pursue incremental evolutionary change. Start what you have now and don't stop there. Agree with the process. You have to do very incremental evolutionary change. It means you are little by little improve, try to improve. Start with what you have, and after that, just improve and change good and get the change into the process. Step by step, slowly try to do. And respect the current process. This is the thing normally we are not doing. Respect the current process, roles, responsibilities, and titles. So always don't forget to respect up to the life you have, right? So you have to respect the current process. At least you are surviving, at least like that. So respect the current situation and try to improve. So that is the basic idea about the Kanban, right? So that is about life, and in the software development as well, you have to respect the current procedure, but don't forget to increment it, and always try to start what you have now. So those are the three principles according to Kanban. So Kanban is Japanese word, so that is from the Japanese background. So it, normally those just like principles are normally that is from the that country, right? So that is why that word is also like that Kanban, right? Then there are once again 5 core properties. So we look what are those core properties. Properties of this Kanban software development. One thing is visualize the work. Visualize the workflow. Visualize means some diagramic means graphical representation, right? Not just only the documents here, not just only the written documents here with words. There are very graphical metaphors maybe there, and graphs, charts. So Kanban is the word Kanban means actually signboard to billboard. It means graphical things, graphical illustration. So normally if you get the chart, maybe we are highlighting how much work we have to do in the next week with the chart. So you can get idea very quickly. This much work I have to do rest of the part. And if you can present the work, the progress with the chart like that, so it is very helpful and it is easy to grab in your mind. So that's why we say Kanban always using illustrations, visual images, graphics, charts, those things. So that is called visualize the workflow. Everyone can understand very simple man. Right. Next one, limit work in process. Work in process, not the progress. Work in process. Use a pull system. Limit work in process. What is WIP? WIP is a standard word. It is an acronym used for work in process. This also can be questioned in the examination as well. This is very important word, important term. It says limit WIP. What is limit WIP? WIP actually not just only IT related term. That is also using in other scenarios as well, in the business world also. So WIP means, so sometimes you are doing 3, 4 to 5 works. Maybe sometimes you are here typing document and you are keeping it as it is and again go to do some household work in that time, right? And also in the meantime you are attending a meeting, right? So just like that, maybe you are also answering a call after muting the meeting. In the meantime, the parallel, you are answering call to call of your friend, and you are doing four tasks parallel, four open tasks. Maybe not parallelly, but four open tasks. None of the tasks are finished. Still, I am writing. Did you finish the document? No, I'm still writing the document. Okay, I will finish that. And did you end up the chat with your friend? No, still you are chatting with your friend as well. But also, meeting is it? No, it is still ongoing. So that says your WIP is 4. I mean, you have 4 open tasks. So when it comes to Kanban, it says limit WIP, because too many WIP is sometimes it is decreasing our progress. So here WIP means work in process, but if you are using too many WIPs, it may decrease our progress, right? So opening too much works, so that will be decrease our progress. So it is better to limit WIP. So you have to establish and respect your ideal capacity. Maybe some of the persons can do 3-4 tasks opening up and try to do all the tasks. There are some persons like that. However, you have to think about your capacity. So too many WIPs is also not good for any of us. However, you have to know about your capacity. Then the third principle is manage flow. Every time you have to manage the flow, monitor the flow, measure and report the flow of the work through each state. Every time you have to think about the state and the monitor and measure. If you are not going with the flow, you have to adjust those things. You have to every time concentrate about your flow. Then the fourth, so we said that 5 core properties are there, no? Right. Then the fourth one is make process policies explicit. You have to, it means if there are some processes, policies, you have to follow those things very explicit, very accurately in order to improve your workflow. You have to always make those, not only making processes and policies, you have to stick with those things. You have to respect those things actually. Right. The last property is improve collaboratively. Every time if it is agile method, every time we asked to do that. So improve the collaboratively using models, maybe the scientific methods or anything, using some technology things, anything. You have to collaborate with the team. Collaborate with the team and get good advantages with interactions with the other team members as well. Right. So those are the things about the Kanban. So we have finished 2 methodologies, Lean, Kanban, and then we are moving to extreme programming. Actually, these are very short descriptions. Our main focus is what? Our main focus is Scrum. When, when we are coming to Scrum, the third unit, fourth unit, also the fifth unit. There are 3 units to describe the Scrum. So that's why I didn't add in this part. So we are talking just only 3-4 slides regarding these other things, and we are more worrying about the mainly Scrum and also extreme programming we have to talk about in the last section, in the last unit. But here we are going to do very rough explanation about extreme programming. About XP, we are going to again talk about in the last section. However, we are not going to talk about lean or Kanban. That's all with the syllabus, right? Right. Then extreme programming means extreme means what? The term first. Extreme. Normally we are sometimes say so saying sorry is not enough. Then we are saying extremely sorry. So saying happy is sometimes not enough. Sometimes we are saying we are extremely happy. Why we are saying extreme? To exaggerate that word. It means we are uh, so many like that exaggeration, right? We amplify that. So extreme programming means we are more focusing about programming. So does it means in when we are developing some software with other agile methodology, does it mean we are not doing coding? No, we have to do coding. Otherwise, how to develop a software? We have to do coding. But here we are extremely worried about programming, how to do coding. Here it's focusing more about the entire process, more focusing about the coding part. So here we also doing improve the software quality, and we are also with just like other software development methodologies, agile methodologies, we are doing frequent releases in very short development cycles and improve the productivity. All those things are happening, but actually very important part is these things we are adding paired programming. Paired programming. We'll talk about more in the later chapters about the extreme programming, but let me describe only this point. So here I didn't add that slide, but let me describe only about this paired programming. Pair means two, no, two persons doing programming. So, so just like with a one computer, only there is a one computer, one machine, and they are doing only one coding file is open, and but there are two persons in front of this computer. Two persons. Normally, for the one computer, there must be one person. Normally, we see like in the like that environment. But here, one computer and two persons. That is why we say paired programming. So, are both of them are doing typing codes? No, one is just looking at the code, and the other person is doing coding, right? So just like imagine you are driving a car and you are in the driving seat, you are doing the driving, and in front of seats, not the driving seat, to others there is another seat with the driving seat, right? So there is a person, right? He is not driving, he or she is not driving, but she is in the other seat. Maybe that person is sometimes helping to you. Maybe saying something, there is a car, just be careful. So like that, giving some hints. Sometimes if that person is always trying to control you, it will be a burden to you, isn't it? Sometimes there are even sometimes they are say normally they don't like to keep girls or ladies in front of seats. Why? They are always trying to say there is a car, please be careful, right? And dog is going in the road. Did you see that like this? Always giving comments. Sometimes to the driving driver, to the person who drive this car, it is not helpful. Actually, it is a burden, right? And but we'll say no, it is not like that. But that person is helping to you, just like you are trying to go somewhere, and that person say, okay, there is a uh, shortcut. We can go to there. So you know only one road. Maybe Google Map is also not sometimes helpful, and that person can give help to you. Then what about that one? Then that person is not a burden. Actually, he is resource person to you, helpful. Like that, in extreme programming, doing pairing programming means that other person must be very helpful to you. Otherwise, this will be the worst case. Just like driving a car, keeping in that seat, some burden person is not a good thing, but helpful person is a very good thing, right? So in here, in extreme programming also, we are using those two terms. So I will add those things when it comes to extreme programming slides, driver and the navigator. Even in coding, we are saying like that, driver and the navigator. Navigator means the person who directs. Driver means in extreme programming, person who do the coding actually. So navigator is just looking at your code, and sometimes he is not every time giving suggestions every time not speaking, but he's just like observing the codes and sometimes giving suggestion why you are using this much lengthy code. You can just use for loop here and you can write it with just 3 lines. That's a very helpful trick because he is the person who monitoring and not monitoring is just only observing your code and then comes better idea maybe more than coding person. And also one important thing, driver and navigator is switching their roles. Not driver is not all the time driver. Maybe within 3 hours or like that, or maybe 3 hours, or maybe for one day he's driver, and the next day he becomes the navigator, and the navigator becomes a driver. Like by switching the roles. Okay, now I will go. Then he is the driver. Like that, switching their roles. Okay, I will again share this screen. Right, so we are talking about driver and the navigator in the extreme programming scenario. Right, so in the after that we'll talk about more if there are some more things related to this extreme programming. Right, I'll again share this screen. It was not shared. There's still loading something I think wrong with the connection or like that. Right, let me share it once again. Let me check whether this is now okay. All right, now it is okay. Right, so that is the thing about driver and the navigator. So we have discussed about extreme programming and the most important part, as I said, that is paired programming. Right, we have discussed all the things in the unit 1, all the things in the unit 1, only the unit 1. Yeah. However, we have finished it with just like 1 hour more, less than 1 hour. We have finished the unit 1. Now we are moving to the unit 2. So unit 2 is about, all right, it's okay. Right. We'll move to the unit 2 and unit 2 is about agile principles. So I'm going to cover this in a very short time of period. Right. So these are the agile principles. Right. These are the agile principles you can see. Variability and uncertainty. The first one. Okay. So we'll move to these principles one by one. First one is variability and uncertainty. Under this variability and uncertainty, we are going to talk about these things. So what is mean by roughly? Variability and uncertainty means variable, and another very familiar term to us. Even when you are doing programming, sometimes we are saying define a variable like that. So there is also this concept is also near to that. However, variable means what? Actually, the change in things. So defining a variable means also we can change the value. That is why we are saying that is a variable, right? Variability means changing factors. So every time in software development in nowadays, we know there are changing factors. What are the changing factors? Changing in requirements, changing in deadline, and sometimes even changing in budget we expect, right? So everything can be changed. And with that changing factors, what happens? We have to face for the uncertainty. Uncertainty always there. There is, we can't define exact things, right? Because there are so many changing factors in life as well. That is the same thing. You have to deal with so many changes. Sometimes you are expecting this kind of result will come to after my examination. Then you get a grade that is maybe not the grade that you have expected. And sometimes you are expecting this much income maybe come within this month, right? Sometimes you have maybe you are getting more than that, right? Sometimes you are not getting uh, the thing that you have expected. So every time there is some uncertainty due to these changes. So within this, how we can deal with this? So here, under this variability and uncertainty main principle, you are given another set of sub-principle. One is embrace helpful variability. Don't afraid to be changed. So sometimes we are very afraid to take variable things in our life, variabilities, because we have some restrictions to change. So if sometimes we are afraid to change our job role, afraid to change some opinions, those things. But it says embrace those things, embrace variability. It means welcome variability. Be a positive vibe for the variability, but for the helpful variabilities only, not the wasteful things. But if there are helpful variability, if you see so this is very helpful thing, we can get this in this time. Then embrace those things, welcome those things. If in software development also, if we see if we can change to this technology, then it is very helpful for us. Then take that change. Second one is employ iterative and incremental development. Employ iterative and incremental development. Always you have to develop your software part by part. Iteratives and incremental. It is you are modifying your software in agile thing part by part. Iterative process. Small part by part you are developing. And with that you are improving slowly, adding more and more parts. So that is incremental development, right? You have to doing that. So every time you have to focus on iterations and incremental development. Right. We are going to talk about the rest of the thing. Once again, we'll take a small break, just only 10 minutes break I'm again take. Again rejoin at now it is 7:35. Then again rejoin at 7:45. We'll continue from there. Next slides.